Hi everyone. Today we are going to solve day 12 challenge, which is to remove the duplicates. Let's get started. In the previous videos or the programs, we have used to count the frequency of the elements in a list. So in today we have to remove that frequency of elements, but here we want the unique elements, right? So in the previous I have the problem with the this, that is to check the element in the array, right? But I have to check the element in the frequency count, right? So I have to replace this, then our output will get the good way. Let's see that. Try to run this. Yes, we get the frequency of the elements in the list. Like the element, what is the frequency? The element, what is the frequency? So like that we get. So in this today video, we have to do the same, but there is a different approaches directly we can do the directly we can remove the duplicates and so on. So let's go to the that. So it is to remove the duplicates in a list, and you have given a list and maybe that may be repeated, so we have to remove that. Here given some hints like that. For example, we can use the loop, set, dictionary keys. Yes, we can do this most easily by this. And you need to find the way to keep all unique elements, right? So we can also decide if the order matters or not, right? So let's check, do the by single main approach, which is like nothing but loop. In that main thing that is given, that the to find the way to keep all the unique elements, right? So for that I have to be like that. Let's say we have elements, or like simple say elements in array. What we have to do, we have to check if the each element in a new list or not, right? Let's create a new list, or okay, unique list we can also keep like that. Unique list, right? So if if element in unique, we have to not return that, right? If not there, we have to append. So I can directly write that if element is not in unique, right, then I have to append the element, right? What element? Unique. In that what list? Unique list. Let's say I keep like that, unique list. Okay, in that I have to append. What I have to append? The element. What that? If the element not in the list, I have to append. If not, I don't have to return, or like I don't have to add any element in that list. So I directly return what I have to return, unique list, right? Let's run this. I have given a list. Let's try to run. Yes, we get the same. Like for example, checking each element. 5, yes, 5 is unique. 6 is unique. 5 is already repeated. Next 9 is unique, then we added, and 2 is unique, yes, added, but 6 is already added here, so it is not added. So it is in the like a same in an order, right? So for the with order preserves, we have to use the loop. If not order preserves, we can use the set method, right? Same here, did that like element if not in the unique list, then it will append and returns that, right? Checking each one, then we will get the output as like this. Okay, so start with an empty and loop through that. If not already exist in that list, then we have to add it. So this keeps the only the first occurrence of the elements and preserves the order. So it is like edge cases or like base cases or constraints, whatever we can say, that we have to keep in mind that if there is an empty list, then we get the same output. So nothing to remove here. And Here when you have the unique elements, then there is no duplicates will present, and with the same elements one unique element will gives. And if we different data types, then we get the different data types in that way, because this decimal and this one will be treated as same in Python. Next we have, if we have the largest list, then it is problem with that, so we have to use the set method for the easy and directly method, because this in check will take the big of n square, because it's checking, for example, it is checking each element in the array, and also it is checking in that each element in the unique list, or like a with element. So it is check with maybe time complexity for that. So if we don't have, I mean, if don't want the order important, so then we can go directly with the set method for the easy. So that's like that. So let's go through the all approaches what we'll have. It is a manual way we have it. It is simple, but it takes the slow for the largest list, so we have to go to the another approach. But in interviews we have to say that is the basic approach, brute force approach, or is like a manual way how we can do check each elements are repeated or not. In any programming languages we have to give the basic approach for the interviewers, or any on any that it is like, which is like a basic logic way, right? So next we can use directly as a what, we can directly use a set method, right? Let's use set. So we can directly return what we have to return, set of array. I think it will not get much, so let's try to run this. Yes, but here we get, but here we want order. You can observe here that we have different order of the list, and but it is set, so we have to convert this in a list, right? Let's try to run this. Okay, same in that list. So by using this we can't get the, yes, does not preserve the order, so that's the problem with that. I have also seen that set will give the is the set in the order or not in the recent versions, but there is no, it is not an order, it is unordered collection. And also seen that the should not rely on the order of the elements within the set as any part of the logic, even in the latest Python versions. If you require, we can use the list to manage the uniqueness yourself, right? So that's the main problem for the set if we don't want the order. Next, by using the dict dot from keys, right? Let's try to run that dict dot from keys. So we have to return dict dot from keys, what we have to give array, right? Let's try to run this. Yes, we get the dictionary of the each element. Let's see what it is. So dict dot from keys is nothing but it is like a class method used to create a unique dictionary, or like new dictionary with a unique values, like a sequence of keys and optional default value, like see, sequence of keys and default value, right? So it takes the keys, which is like a list, tuple, string, and contains the elements within the keys, right? And the value is like we define, for example, in that key list, here we have not defined any value, so the output will be like none. And if here we have defined a value, it is 255, so it is assigned to all. If we given 0, then is also given. So here we, in that our program, what we have did, like directly we have given the list, oh sorry, we have given the array, in that value is none, so by directly we converting the list, right? Here we can, you can observe that in the dictionary keys are unique, right? So it is directly converted the all the elements into unique. So you can also observe this as the same as like that 5 6 9 2, right? So let's try to convert this into a list. So then it becomes a list. Okay, so to convert a list I have to directly give that a list method. Let's construct, right? So it is constructs the list of the dictionary elements. Okay, next by using, so dictionary method cannot have the duplicate keys, so from keys creates a dictionary with each element as a key, so convert it back to a list, so gives an order elements, right? So maybe confusing for the beginners, but it preserves the orders and fast. Time complexity and space complexity same, because and it's also best sensitive unique list creation most used in the interviews. Okay, next by using collections dot order ticked. Okay, collections dot order, so for that we have to import collections. From collections we have to import, what we have to import, order dict, right? For that, same as like that, as we use the from keys, but here we directly using order dict only, like for example order dict dot from keys, right? Same as array, and in that way it shows in a order dict same as that. So we have to convert this into a list, right? So let's run this. Yes, we get the same orders because we have used the dictionary. In that set time, let's comment out this. In the set time, we have no order, right? Let's convert this into a list. Okay, so let's try to run this. So here we don't get the, in the set method there's a what we can say, that order, but in a dictionary and in a loop based we getting the orders. Okay, so yes, here directly using from keys in an array. So in that let's say we have this, it is same, you can observe here like creates a new order dict, which is like a key taken same as like that we do in the same from keys in dict dot from keys, right? In dict dot from keys, here it is like order dict, right? So it is like checking each value and default value given, and default value is like 0, same as like that. Here we get the like a none, right, order dict. So we can directly convert that into a list so that we get. Okay, so slightly longer code but clear intention of the code order preservation. Works similarly but explicitly uses the order dict as a dict from the dict dot from keys, right? So next by using the list comprehension, right? Let's try to do that. List comprehension. So for that we have to return, right? We have to return, what we have to return, a list. In that list I want, for example, element in array. So I have to check for the each element, right? If let's see here we given a condition to check the each element, right? So for that it is, see here explains that uses a set to track the scene elements, and clever use of short circuit evaluation to check, and plus add one line. So preserves order and efficient. May look confusing for the beginners, but it is efficient when compared with, but see here the time complexity is also well compared to the loop based. Let's try to define a set, which is, let's say we use the found, right? In that I have defining a set if found, sorry, if element in, or what we have to check, if element in FOUND, normally we are doing that. If not, we can directly add that, right? For example here element, let's try to run this, how it's getting empty list. Okay, so if element is not in found, oh yes, so if element not in found, then I have to return that, because it returns all the continuous duplicate values also, because anything is not in that. So we have to define the condition as like this, right? For example, if element, right, if not in, it is directly checking if not in, like for example, if element in found means if element not in found, and or directly with saying that seeing dot element, right? So fund found dot l add, in a set method it can directly add like elements, right? So let's try to run. I think it's error showing. Yes, now it's okay. So here we get the same methods. Sorry. So it's get the same order method. So I have also find the how to do that. Let's say here it is the function to do that. So let's try to check the each element. For example, this is the array. Let's see, I'm printing here. It is checking for the each element. For elements means in this logic, right? So elements, let's write, I'm also printing this logic. Okay, so if x in that scene means in that empty scene means false, because first time it is not present because it's an empty, so we have to add it in that in the set, right? So since the element is false, it proceeds to the scene next order, next thing, right? So which adds the 1 to the scene, so scene becomes 1. So the condition in that, it is like for example it is false, so not or false is true. It is not checking this because it is also true. False, no, it is not true, directly adding the elements, it is not a boolean, right? So 1 gets added to the list. Next second item will be like for example 2. It is also one of the unique element in that list, because 2 is also, because 2 is not in the scene set, right? Let's say I'm also printing for your clarification. Okay, so it's directly checking the second two element, sorry, first two element, it is not in the scene set, so it adds to that, so then it becomes as like that. And it is not, because it is a true, sorry, it is false, so it is true. Let's see third elements. Now we can clearly understand the duplicate value is present. So x in C means 2 in C, yes, so it is already have that. So the condition x in true is x in is true, right? So the second part of that or means like scene dot add is not executed, so the condition not true is becomes false, so 2 is not added to the result, so list, so it's skipped. Okay, that's the main thing to use this condition. So let's try to do that. So here we checking with each element like 5 element, if element in that found set, no, right, first time, so it directly adds the element in the form. If 6 is also same as like, then 5 checks if that element in that is yes, so it is true. So true of not is equal to false, so false will not, and it is true, right, and it is not executed. You can also observe this here, like for example, in that one we get the same array. For example, here see x1 is already present, so second part of the or is not executed, so not of true is false, so 1 is added to the element, sorry, not added to the list. Okay, this way we can going to that, and this is like edge cases handling all these things. as like we previously discussed, expected output will be like that. And okay, next, if we have to remove the duplicates in nested, so we can directly do that, giving the each element in that as a list and checking for the for I in the array, right? I think it is like most advanced, but first we have to go to the each list. Okay, and if it normally base condition or like any edge condition is also like if there is not an array, then we have to return with this. So if we want the order, then we can use the loop base. If not, and we can use the set. And when the dict from key is also recommended for the interviews, and explicitly we can use this same as like that above. And list comprehension is like efficient and Python. In that you can observe this loop based is like a time complexity is like a big of n square, so it is a problem with the loop based because takes more time. For the largest list it really takes more of time. So for the interviews and assessment, dict dot from keys is better, simple and clean, preserves order. In for real world coding, list comprehension as like we did in the same as like this, it is best to for the list comprehension. I think for the interviews also we have to go with the brute force, which is big of n square time complexity, and say that another approaches will be present, that is dict dot from keys and list comprehension approaches, right? So these are like, so let's see what we have learned. We have used the loop to each and every, and set used, and dictionary from keys, and order or collection, order list, and list comprehension. So these are the important way to solve the remove duplicates. And you can also observe the count frequency as the previous, so same that like, but we have directly removing that each element, right? So thank you for all seeing my videos, and we can see in the next video what will be like. For example, let's say, okay, for day 12, okay, let me give a minute. So okay, I think it's wherever, so I will update in next video. We can use the day 13. I'm not saying here day 13 program. Okay, see in the next video. Sorry, see in the next video.